Oh, Sage, if you could sit down, that would be great. Hey, welcome back to my living room. My name is Erin. I'm a therapist, and I love analyzing all things pop culture, TV, movies, you name it, I'm there. And today we're going to be looking at Friends. I'm really excited about this. I love this TV show to death. I've seen it through so many times. But today specifically, we'll be talking about Rachel Green because she had a plethora of very interesting relationships. Today, Sage and Sorrel, my cute, adorable cats, may or may not be joining us. They usually make an appearance or two in my videos, so if you don't know who they are, that's who they are. I had a little bit of a rough week. I'm not gonna lie. I work full-time, obviously, outside of this. As you can tell, I'm probably making no money off YouTube, but I'm having a lot of fun doing it, and are you good? Anyway, that's a representation of my week. I really enjoy doing this, but I had a break from work for the holidays and I transitioned back to work, and it was just really hard. I just had a really tough time transitioning back, harder than I thought it was going to be. And so I'm feeling a little low energy today, but that's okay. I'm still really excited to film. I really enjoy doing this and I think it's really fun. So at the end of the day, it's okay. Didn't mean to bring you on a diatribe, just wanted to bring some authenticity into a world where there's not a lot of it. So let's get started. I have ranked Rachel's 10 relationships. It worked out perfectly that there were 10. I only selected relationships in which she was dating the person over multiple episodes. So I didn't do Tommy the Screamer, if you remember him, played by Ben Stiller.
Quick! What are you quacking about? Dumb Donald Dodo!
That's a phenomenal episode. And I didn't do Russ.
Oh, you're the day.
You know, this is actually good, because if we ever lose Ross, we have a spare.
Though he is an honorable mention for me, because that's also a great episode where Rachel dates Russ, who is actually Ross, but she dates him to get back at Ross, and he's just boring as hell. So she's like, I can't do this. So anyway, I only selected relationships in which she had multiple episodes of relationship with them, in part so that I could have a little more data to analyze if I thought the relationship was dysfunctional versus functional. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I have ranked Rachel's relationships from most dysfunctional to least dysfunctional. And we're going to start at 10 with the least dysfunctional, because I think it's a little more interesting and fun to anticipate what's coming. Who do you think I will pick as the most dysfunctional relationship? It might surprise you. Okay, so at number 10, let's start off. We've got her most healthy relationship, I would say, is Tag Jones. He is a recurring character for a few episodes. Rachel ends up hiring him because she initially thinks he's very attractive. And Rachel ends up being his boss, but then she slowly develops this crush on him, and they eventually obviously date. So here's some scenes in which I thought displayed kind of the health of the relationship.
So what's your name?
Tag Jones.
Go on. I'm attracted to you.
Wow.
It just doesn't matter how I feel. I mean, we work together, so nothing could really ever happen between us.
So please don't fire me for doing this.
Did you send those contracts to Milan?
What contracts? Rachel, I'm sorry, but you didn't give me any contracts.
Yes, I did, and I put a little post-it on it that said, must go out today, and I underlined today 3 times, and then I put a little heart in the corner because I didn't want to seem too bossy. He put them on my desk, and then I put a post-it on it that said, must go out today. Just go, please.
Fine.
Thank you. No, it's not in there. How about that drawer?
If this whole thing is
You
over.
put these on my desk.
I did not.
Oh, really? So you're saying they just slid out of your bottom drawer, crawled across the floor, then jumped onto my desk?
How did you know they were in my bottom drawer?
I am so hot for you right now. But I just think I'm past the point where I can, just have fun.
Rachel, don't do this. This is just because you're turning 30.
Yeah, it is. You're just a kid. I mean, you're 25.
24, actually.
Oh, God. Sorry.
Obviously, there's an unhealthy relationship dynamic and an inappropriate one with Rachel being Tag's boss. It's not unheard of. It happens in the workplace. So I ranked it as her healthiest relationship because of the responses that her and Tag have during conflict and communication. So when Rachel thinks that she gave Tag the contracts, and he's like, "You never gave me those contracts. Let's go down and figure it out." And then he finds the contracts on his desk only because Rachel put them on there after the fact. Well, Tag then puts it on her desk and they have this kind of quippy back and forth. And instead of it ending in this big blow up about who forgot to give the contracts to who, they kind of just laugh it off and recognize like this is a silly thing to argue about. So they have this ability to like move past conflict. They don't make it bigger than it needs to be. Even their breakup is really healthy. Like the only reason they broke up is because Rachel was like, I'm just in a different stage of life than you. Like I'm going to be ready to have kids sooner than you probably are. I'm turning 30. You're only 24. Like if it was a different stage of life, maybe if she was like 35 and he was 30, maybe. But even the reason they broke up is totally rational and understandable. So this by far is her healthiest and easiest relationship. I really liked Tag. I'm sad they broke up, but he actually wasn't my favorite boyfriend of Rachel's. So number 9, I have marked Mark Robinson as Rachel's next healthiest relationship. I would say like, 6 into the 10 range. We're still in like healthy-ish relationships, right? Like they're functional and they're fine. So I still say this one's pretty healthy at number 9, obviously. So Mark Robinson is a really essential character in Friends, more so than people typically think he is, because he is the catalyst for Ross and Rachel's initial first "we were on a break" famous debate. So Mark is a coworker of Rachel's. He actually initially gets her the job at Bloomingdale's and is very respectful and holds his boundaries. He doesn't try to cheat on Rachel or undermine Ross. In my opinion, some people think he tries to undermine Ross. I think he was just being nice, honestly, because he had a girlfriend throughout that episode where he got Rachel an interview at Bloomingdale's. So this obviously sets Ross off. And then here's some of the snippets of Mark and Rachel's relationship.
Just one other thing.
Yes.
I work at Bloomingdale's, and I might know of a job possibility if you're interested. He loves you. You got it. You got the job.
I did?
Yes.
Oh my God!
Congratulations!
Do you have the Ralph Lauren file?
Oh, yeah, sure. It's right.
What's that?
It's from Ross. It's a love bug.
Wow. Somebody wants people to know you have a boyfriend.
Oh no. That's not what he's doing. He's just really romantic. Hello?
Oh, hi. It's Mark. Isn't tonight your big anniversary dinner?
Well,
Rach, are you okay?
yeah, I'm fine.
You want to talk? I mean, I can come over.
No, really, no, please. I told him I wanted to take a break. I don't want to take a break.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You know what?
No, and I don't think I'm gonna want to.
I can't do this.
Yep, that's what I didn't want to know.
Yeah, Mark, I'm just doing this for the wrong reasons, I'm just doing it to get back at Ross. I'm sorry. It's not very fair to you.
No, I say we get back at him right here on this couch, right here.
Oh, God. I'm sorry about this.
That's okay.
I really liked Mark. I honestly wanted Rachel to date Mark really bad. I thought he was really kind. I liked his intentionality when she was struggling and he could hear it on the phone. That's when you can kind of pick up that he's like, okay, obviously he likes her, not if a man is offering to come comfort you when you sound sad, then probably he's interested in you. And so when he goes over there to comfort her, I thought that was very kind. He didn't try and put the moves on her in her vulnerable state. He just heard her out and was like, yeah, that is really hard. Like, it sounds like you and Ross have some things to figure out. So I appreciated that he was not trying to move in on her during a vulnerable part in her life. But then eventually when they go on a date and it goes really well, and then Mark puts a move on Rachel, she ends it because she's like, Mark, I'm doing this for the wrong reasons. This is not good. I'm doing this to get back at Ross. So I marked it as more dysfunctional than her relationship with Tag, because she initially dated Mark in order to get back at Ross. Not a great reason to be in a relationship. But in terms of how the relationship unfolded and who Mark was to her and how he treated her with respect and kindness and respected her boundaries as well, because when he made an advance on her after their date and she said, no, I just can't do this, he was very respectful and held that boundary and was like, I understand. I will not push more than is needed, and I hear you loud and clear. So I really appreciated how Mark moved in relationship with her. He was intentional, he was kind, even when Ross was being a little bit unhinged. Not even a little, that was really unhinged. He was really unhinged and sent all of that stuff and love bombed her at work to essentially mark his territory. Even Mark didn't really say anything negative about it. He was just like, wow, okay, I think you have a boyfriend, huh? And she was embarrassed, obviously, because that's embarrassing, because that was Ross. But Mark even didn't like shame her for it or make her feel bad or uncomfortable about it. So I really, really liked Mark. I was sad, but understood, because her and Ross were so enmeshed and intertwined that they couldn't figure it out. So Mark, you land at number 9. Congratulations. Good job. Let's move to number 8. Paul Stevens. What a guy. Famously played by Bruce Willis.
Yippee-ki-yay, mother...
Which I think is one of the more fun cameos that happens in Friends. And there's a lot of cameos. One of my other favorite cameos is Reese Witherspoon, who plays Rachel's spoiled sister, Jill.
Yes?
Hi. Is Rachel here? I'm her sister. Oh my...
And I also love, I think it's in season 2, Julia Roberts.
Is your name Chandler?
Yes, it is.
Plays a girl that Chandler went to elementary or high school with, I think, and then she dates him. It's a whole thing. Go watch it. Great episode. So I've ranked this at 8 because for the most part, it was a pretty functional relationship.
Just call me Paul.
Paul, I just want to know what is behind this strong, silent exterior? Regrets?
Nope.
All right, Paul, I'm not asking for a lot here, okay? Just give me something. Anything.
In 5th grade, I got in a fight. Well, it wasn't really a fight.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to stifle you. This is all just a little overwhelming.
So Rachel meets Ross's girlfriend, Elizabeth, and Elizabeth is a little bit younger than Ross, so that's a whole theme throughout the episode. So then Ross ends up meeting Elizabeth's father, and Rachel and Elizabeth's father, Paul, really hit it off. And so they end up dating for a few episodes, and it ends pretty disastrously as Rachel encourages him to open up, which just opens the floodgates of emotions that Paul Stevens is feeling. It is incredibly overwhelming. Rachel names that in the show, and it would be a lot for any one individual. I think I understood why she broke up with him. She was like, this is way too much for me, dude. You need to figure some things out. But I also think like that's a good sign that maybe he just needs to emotionally process a little bit more and work on setting up those internal boundaries and not just trauma dumping on Rachel, because that's essentially what he was doing. So I think that if he had worked on it a little bit, maybe got a therapist, and worked to understand his emotions and be able to sit in his emotions well without getting overwhelmed by them, I think they really could have made it work. They were a cute, happy couple. So he was incredibly overwhelming and needed some help, but at the end of the day, it really wasn't that unhealthy of a relationship. Like they both felt physically attracted towards each other, so they got together pretty quick, but that happens in normal life. It's not really anything bad. So that's why I have ranked it at number 8, which brings us to number 7. All right, number 7, we've got Gavin Mitchell. I also really liked Gavin. There's a few of Rachel's boyfriends that I really liked that I thought would have been fun if she could, maybe make some more long-term commitments to them. But, as the show goes on, we always know that Ross and Rachel were meant to be together. Are they, though? Anyway.
Well, who the hell are you?
Who the hell are you?
I'm the hell person whose office this is.
I'm Gavin Mitchell, the person who's taken over your job.
Excuse me?
Oh, you can do the presentation.
No, I can't. I have a baby.
I'll watch her.
Why would you do that?
Because you worked really hard and it's your job and you're a little crazy.
Oh. Oh. Oh, it's beautiful.
If you don't mind.
No.
Let me.
Why do you give me such a hard time?
I'm not sure.
Well, Monica seems to think it's because you have feelings for me.
I do have feelings for you.
We do live together, and plus there's just so much history. It's just, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm just all over the place.
It's okay. Now, I know it's probably not my place, but can I give you a piece of advice?
Yes?
I think you should talk to Ross about all this.
People keep saying that.
So I marked Gavin at 7 based on what we just watched for a few different reasons. So one being their relationship kind of had a rough start, but Gavin, I think, frequently made strides towards the middle, and so did Rachel. Rachel apologizes for judging him so quickly, and Gavin gives her a scarf for her birthday. So even though they have these little back and forth moments, there is this ability to come back towards one another rather than stonewall and turn away or turn defensive. So I think moving forward in their relationship, even though they annoy each other, there is some theme in their relationship, even as short as it is, that they have this ability to kind of come back towards one another, which could really benefit them in the future. So I thought that was a healthy part of the relationship. So really, the unhealthiest part of this relationship is that they could be kinder to each other and they're not. But even when they're not, they still try to make movement back towards each other, which is a healthy sign of a healthy relationship, even though they never fully formed a relationship, because after they kiss, Rachel and Gavin have a heart-to-heart, and Gavin's like, look, what are you with Ross? I don't want to get in the middle with that, which I also thought was a healthy thing, where he's like, I'm not trying to step on any toes. I want to be respectful where you're at, especially with the father of your child. So let's have an honest conversation, which I was like, love that open communication, love that ability to just talk about something with truth and honesty so that you can both have clarity and expectations moving forward. But what's weird to me is that the show just writes him out. Literally, that's it. They have a conversation. She's like, I'm not sure where I'm at with Ross. He's like, that's okay. He leaves her apartment, never to be seen again. Nobody knows what happens to Gavin. Does he still work with Rachel? Was he just there to fill her position while she was on maternity leave? Did Rachel ever say goodbye to him? We don't know. That will always annoy me so much that the writers didn't finish that plot line. Even a simple goodbye at the end of the episode of just yeah, this isn't going to work. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. I'm moving anyway. Whatever that was going to be. Okay, that's my rant for this episode. I always have one rant to video, and that's my rant for this video. So anyway, let's move to number 6. Number 6, I put Joey. I don't know how I currently feel about that ranking, but I think 6 is kind of where it fits, because it's not entirely unhealthy, but it's also not fully functional either. So I think 6 is kind of a good place for it, because I think Joey and Rachel could have made it work if they could have made it past the idea of being friends. But the way that whole relationship unfolded was so all over the place. And Rachel and Joey obviously have a rich history as friends, and then add in the factor of Ross, and we've got a very messy dynamic. Let's watch.
I thought you were in your room.
No, I'm picking you up for our date. These are for you.
Oh, I'm having such a wonderful time.
Me too. Hey, Rach, can I just say, I think this is the best date I ever had.
I know.
I've never laughed so hard. Did you see the wine come out of my nose?
Yes. What are you doing over there? Come sit here. You protect me.
Oh, sure. Yeah, why not?
can't watch.
You like Rachel?
Yes, I like Rachel. I'm falling in love with you.
I love you so much. But Joey.
Yeah, right. Hey, that's okay. It's fine.
Like me?
Okay, let's not make a big thing about this.
Absolutely. I'm fine. Totally fine.
Are you okay? And when are the fajitas gonna be ready?
I'm fine. Okay, I'm great. I'm just proud of us. Dads, be careful. Very hot plate. Very hot.
Ross, you don't even have oven mitts on. Well, how come Monica and Chandler could do it?
I guess they weren't as good friends as we are.
Okay, Rachel and Joey have a very complex relationship in its development because Joey initially likes Rachel when she's pregnant with Ross's baby. So that's already messy enough. Add in the fact that Joey is incredibly loyal to his friends, especially Ross. He wouldn't want to break bro code. So I think that Joey is one of the most healthy friends out of all the friends. He's loyal, he's kind, he's there for his friends when they need him. So I love Joey. And it starts off so messy because obviously liking a pregnant woman who's carrying the baby of your best friend is really, really messy. So then Rachel, through a series of events, eventually recognizes that maybe she does like Joey, but Joey has already initially moved on from her or is like oblivious to her advances. Long story short, Joey ends up dating Charlie, and Ross really likes Charlie, and so Joey ends up breaking up with Charlie, not because Ross likes her, but because they just aren't a good fit. And then shortly after, he finds out Rachel likes him, and he denies Rachel's feelings. He's like, I can't do that to Ross. I care too much about him. And then he sees Ross kissing Charlie. So he's like, all right, well, if you're going to be that hypocritical, then I'm going to go kiss Rachel, which leads to one of the best episodes of Friends, in my opinion, of Ross trying to be okay with Joey and Rachel's relationship.
I'm gonna go make a picture of margaritas.
And then eventually Joey and Rachel try to make it work, but recognize they can't move past that like friend stage, that big hump that you have to make it past, and that they should remain better as friends, and that it's just too complicated with Ross in the picture. So I've landed and ranked it at 6 because of essentially, I think, kind of how the relationship develops and unfolds. It's a lot of lying to other people. It's a lot of weird dynamics. And also there's just going to be some level of unhealth if you're trying to date your best friend's long time on and off again girlfriend. Like there's not going to not be messiness in that. And then you add in a layer that she's pregnant with his baby, but they're not together. Okay, that's just going to be a really, really big mess. So it's not objectively unhealthy in the sense that like he's abusing her or, you know, they fight all the time or whatever, but it's also not going to be healthy either because there's always going to be these like dynamics running through the background that are going to impact friendships. So that's why I ranked it at 6. Not fully unhealthy, not quite dipping into the most dysfunctional relationships. Where do I stand on the Rachel and Joey relationship? I thought they would have been cute. I thought they could have made it work. I think Joey is generally healthier than Ross is anyway, so I think it could have been really fun. But I'm also like glad that Rachel didn't end up with Joey because I think there's other relationships that I would have preferred her to end up with. What is this cat doing? I just want everybody to know my cats have just made themselves a part of the videos. Whenever I'm filming out here, they come and they sit with me. I have not like asked them. Obviously I can't ask them to be part of my videos, but they have just self-selected and decided that they would like to be on YouTube as well. So they're little pop star divas and I love them. Okay, so Joey hits number 6. That brings us to number 5, Paolo, aka Crap Weasel.
Do you know the word crap weasel?
So Paolo and Rachel are together the very first season, and he's just this suave Italian man that Rachel finds extremely physically attractive. He does not speak a lick of English. They develop this kind of friends with benefits, so to speak, type of relationship because they're obviously not really communicating. So here's some clips of their relationship and how it turns out.
Everybody, this is Paolo. Paolo, I want you to meet my friends. Poke a nose.
Ah, poke a nose.
And everything was fine until... Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Paolo. What a guy. I ranked Paolo at 5 because, again, I think it falls right in the middle of not a completely dysfunctional relationship, but not a completely functional one either. It's functional in the sense that they clearly had a lot of sexual chemistry, and so I think that's just what unites them in the beginning. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's dysfunctional in the sense that they can't communicate because he does not speak any English, and Rachel uses him as a rebound when she feels upset that Ross is dating somebody else. So if you're ever dating someone or using them in the sense to get over somebody else, then I feel like that's probably not the most functional way to enter a relationship unless you're both of that understanding and have clarity and expectations about what the relationship is. I just think it's dangerous to use other people to get over somebody else because it obviously puts the other person at risk that they'll develop feelings for you when you're not open to that. That is not to say that like you can't go on a date to help move on from a relationship or, you know, tip your toes into the dating pool again when you're trying to figure out how to move forward. It's just that when you're doing it intentionally with people to intentionally get over one other person, I think that's probably where it falls into the unhealthy category. So I put it there at 5 because they have good chemistry. But then I would be remiss if I did not mention the most dysfunctional part of Paolo is the fact that he hit on Rachel's friend Phoebe and then flashed her. So I think it would be generous to say this is a cultural misunderstanding. And I think it would be more accurate to say that he's a scumbag and doesn't understand how to respect women well. So yeah, pretty dysfunctional that he's flashing her friends and groping them. But they also never had a full relationship, so he wasn't cheating on her in that sense. But regardless, it's inappropriate and not okay and absolutely should not happen. So that's why I put it at 5, where I was like, this one's just a weird one. Not fully functional, not fully dysfunctional, because they worked for a while and until they didn't. So I don't know if you disagree with that rating. Let me know in the comments. Love to hear your opinion of where Paolo should be on the list. All right. Getting down to the wire here. Number 4, Joshua.
What can I do for you, Joshua?
Rachel dates Joshua in season 4. She's working at a tailor place, I think. Can't remember, quite frankly. But Joshua comes in looking for new suits, and she slowly develops this crush on him, and he keeps coming back to her to get some menswear, and their relationship develops. Let's look at some of the clips.
This baby never missed. Rachel, I can't let... Actually, I kind of want to see what happens. What do you get? Oh, Emily! Woo, Emily!
I like you.
You like me?
Yeah. I mean, you're beautiful and smart and sophisticated. A lot of this isn't based on tonight. My marriage, just ended. And I'm really not ready to get into anything yet. But...
Oh, I love that butt. What if we got married?
my divorce isn't final yet, and we've been on 4 dates. So I'm thinking no.
I do.
This is one of Rachel's funnier relationships in the way that it ends, obviously, just in hot flames. But it's one of her most dysfunctional ones because of Rachel, not even because of Joshua. Joshua talks about coming out of a recent divorce. He's clear and open in his communication about that. He confronts Rachel when he tells her, hey, I'm not ready to date. Like, I really appreciate your advances, but I'm just not there yet. Then he comes back around. He's like, okay, well, maybe actually I am. Maybe I should give it a try. So I appreciate his approach to Rachel. He's oblivious to her advances in the beginning, which is really funny. But eventually he comes around. He's like, yeah, I like you. And I guess we can give it a try. I appreciate that he had the self-awareness to be like, maybe I'm just not ready yet, and communicate that. And so I think it's healthy that he was self-reflecting on that and not just like willy-nilly going into a relationship. But where it gets really unhealthy is Rachel's I think Rachel's desire to impress him. Obviously, we have the famous cheerleading scene where she wears her high school cheerleading uniform to try and impress him, which, oh girl, that's just a very pick-me girl moment, if we're being honest. Also very cringy. Some people argue that Joshua is actually just a rebound for Rachel from Ross, because shortly after they break up, I think, in the timeline. Something happens. Of course, something happens with Ross and Rachel. What's new? So something happens with them, and Rachel enters this relationship with Joshua. So some people think that she is trying to rebound. I don't necessarily think that she was trying to rebound. I do think she had authentic feelings for Joshua. I think it was convenient that she had feelings for him at the same time that everything happened with Ross. Where it gets so dysfunctional and messy is she proposes to Joshua out of spite because Ross and Emily are moving so quickly in their relationship. And Ross and Emily are healthy. They're doing fine. So the fact that Rachel literally derails her entire relationship out of spite for Ross is so dysfunctional. It's so unhealthy. She does not have any self-awareness around the idea that, well, she does. She comes back around and she calls Joshua and she's like, hey, actually, that was not cool of me. I'm just really struggling with Ross. So she does have some self-awareness, but the fact that she even let herself get there where she was willing to propose and potentially, who knows, go through with a wedding that she hasn't fully thought through, that is why I've ranked it at number 4. Joshua, you were a good guy. I don't have anything bad to say about you. I just think Rachel needed some help in that season and many seasons after. What do you think about that ranking, Sorrel? 3. Barry. How could we forget about Rachel and Barry? The relationship that kicked it off. Very first episode, obviously, is Rachel coming out from her wedding. She enters Central Perk wearing a wedding dress. Very famous scene, and she has just abandoned her wedding to Barry. She just couldn't do it. And so that kicks off this understanding of their relationship. Let's look at some clips to kind of get a fuller context of what's going on.
Our honeymoon alone?
No. I went with Mindy.
Mindy? My maid of honor, Mindy?
Yeah, well,
My mother sends me the engagement notices for inspiration. Oh my God, it's Barry and Mindy.
It's actually really great. And we took a walk down to Bendel's, and I told him not to, but he got me a little bottle of Chanel. Will you be my maid of honor? Of course! Barry is seeing someone in the city. Okay. When Barry was engaged to you, he and I kind of had a little thing on the side. He came home smelling like Chanel.
Smell familiar?
Oh, no. Oh, I'm so sorry.
I've ranked Barry at number 3 for multiple different reasons. First being the fact that Barry immediately got with Rachel's maid of honor after she left him at the altar. They even go on Rachel's honeymoon together. Super dysfunctional. So already, like, there's some signs that he's probably a cheater. And then she comes on later to find out that Mindy was sleeping with him, making out with him the entire time that she was engaged to Barry. So not only was it her understanding that they got together shortly after, that was actually wrong. He had been with Mindy the entire time they were engaged. And then there's a season, I don't remember what season that's in, but one of Rachel's sisters, Amy, tells Rachel that she would make out with Barry as well while they were dating earlier, not engaged yet, but dating. And so Barry already has this reputation of being a cheater, and Rachel, good Lord, Rachel goes back to him while he's engaged to Mindy. He gets engaged to Mindy. Rachel ends up going on like this secretive date with Barry, and she ends up sleeping with him. And then Mindy calls her later and is like, I think Barry's cheating on me. To Rachel's credit, she comes clean. She's like, look, we slept together. So there's just like, it's just so messy. And then Barry's parents tell everybody that Rachel has syphilis, and that's why she left him at the altar, because she's crazy. So even that family dynamic, I'm like, oh God, I can't even imagine marrying into a family where the in-laws would have the wherewithal to do that, but they would have. So Barry ranks at number 3 for very obvious reasons. Him being a cheater, him being chronically unable to commit to somebody, just the on again, off again relationship with all of his partners. It's just very obvious that it's not healthy and that he needs some help so that he's just not chronically cheating on his partners. So yeah, that's at number 3. Even though it's mostly Barry, Rachel still chooses to go back to him and cheat on her best friend. Oh, forgot to even mention, Mindy asks her to be the maid of honor. So not only is she cheating on her best friend, she also is cheating on as the maid of honor, which is exactly what Mindy did to her. So yeah, just pretty obvious he lands at 3, which makes you really think who could be at 2 and 1, because this is like, that's pretty bad. 2. I think some people are going to disagree with this, and that's okay. Again, tell me in the comments. I might be opening myself up to some fiery opinions, which is fine. Or maybe some people will agree with me. I'm not sure. At 2, I have put Ross Geller as one of her most dysfunctional relationships. I don't even know where to start. Obviously, there is a long history throughout the show of their relationship. I've tried to compile some clips to highlight the things that I think were most important. Let's watch it back.
Remember back in college when he fell in love with Carol and bought her that ridiculously expensive crystal duck?
What did you just say?
You're over me?
Oh.
When were you under me?
What is this?
That is, okay, that's... No.
Ross, what is this?
Thank you.
Kind of ditzy? Too into her looks? Just a waitress? Honey, I'm so sorry, but it looks like I'm gonna be here all night.
What? How about I come up there?
No, honey, please. I just have too much to deal with.
Hi.
Oh, my God. What are you doing here?
Well, you said you couldn't go out, so...
You brought a picnic. Ugh. Honey, I'm sorry. I know it's our anniversary, but I told you on the phone I don't have time to stop.
Okay, you don't have to stop. I'm invisible. I'm not here.
Ross, you're not listening to me. I don't have time to stop.
Come on, Rach. You don't have, 10 minutes?
I don't have 10 minutes.
What? Sophie, does she have 10 minutes?
Hey, Ross, I told you I don't.
Understand, you were stressed.
I was going to give you a chance to apologize to me.
For what? For letting you throw me out of your office? Is this about Mark?
Oh, my God. Oh, maybe we should just take a break.
Okay, fine. You're right. Let's take a break. Let's cool off, okay? Let's get some frozen yogurt or something.
No. A break from us.
I've been thinking this is crazy. I mean, don't you think we can work on this?
Hey, what do you want to drink?
Who's that? Yeah, got it. We were on a break!
Coffee house?
Ross. Ross is a literal walking red flag. I maybe should have put him at 1, but I think 1 has its place for its reasons I'll get to. I will never understand. Well, I do understand it, but I will always speak out against Ross and Rachel's relationships. It was obviously a huge thing when the show was first coming out. It was a very big will they, won't they relationship. And so I think a lot of people got trapped under this mentality of wanting them to be together because it was so back and forth. So they just overlooked the complete dysfunction that is Ross. And I'm not saying that Rachel's perfect either. I can point to plenty of things she did that were not healthy. But Ross is toxic, straight up. And I love Friends. I'm saying this as somebody who really enjoys watching the show. But there's some objective truth in this that he's not a healthy person and he needed some help. I have so many things. Okay, so first, at Ross's core, he is jealous, controlling, and plays the victim quite frequently. When Rachel is in relationships with other men, he is so sulky. He is all about himself. Woe is me. Everything is so hard because Rachel won't choose me. So that already is such a turn off to me. But that's not even where it gets bad. Ross literally goes to Rachel's work when she's in the middle of a very important project. She's overwhelmed. And he brings a picnic basket to her work. Rachel kicks him out, appropriately so, because she's like, what are you doing here? That's inappropriate. And as they're arguing, he literally gaslights her and being like, this is your fault. You need to feel bad for kicking me out of your office. Who does that? No, that's such a rational response. Who goes to somebody's work unannounced with a picnic basket and says, yeah, let's have dinner, sweetie? That's so embarrassing. That's so uncomfortable. Rachel was completely in the right to be like, that's an inappropriate thing to do. But instead of Ross having the emotional intelligence to self-reflect and be like, you're right, that was inappropriate, he gets defensive and turns it around on her. That's not okay. They then start arguing, and he uses his insecurities and trauma from his past relationship with Carol to justify his response to Rachel. If anyone does that, where they use their past trauma to justify their response to you, that's not okay. Past trauma doesn't validate a response. It makes the response, we can understand with empathy why someone would respond that way. It doesn't make it okay. So the fact that we're trying to normalize this is not okay. We need to always keep in mind that Ross is a walking red flag. Ross even goes to the extent of making a pros and cons list about Rachel. On this pros cons list, he puts incredibly mean things on there. He says she's just a waitress. So judgmental and mean. She's ditzy. She's into her looks. Things like that. That I'm like, if anyone were to ever say those things about me, I would be crushed. First off, what a hard thing to have somebody that you care about say about you or think about you. And I would never date them. A pros cons list is such a reductionistic way of choosing a relationship. Like, it just makes me angry that he even did that. It's super inappropriate. That's a huge red flag. When we're in the thick of Ross's and Rachel's relationship and they're debating if they should take a break or not, they end up taking a break. It's very famous. They obviously have very different definitions of what that means. I'll do a separate video on that at some point in time. But when Rachel is at home, she's with Mark. Love Mark. And Mark's just comforting her. And Rachel and Ross end up on the phone. Ross is like, I'm sorry. I don't think we should do this. Rachel is like, I'm thinking the same. I don't think we should be on a break. And Ross hears Mark's voice in the background. Mark simply asks, hey, what do you want to drink? And Ross runs with that. He literally is like, you're cheating on me. I can't believe Mark is there. I'm over this. We're done. And Rachel is left there like, what the hell just happened? And Ross doesn't have the trust in Rachel and his relationship to trust that she didn't just go and automatically sleep with Mark or start a relationship with Mark 2 seconds after their relationship was on a break. So Ross, in retaliation, sleeps with another freaking woman the same night. I'm like, if that's not unhealth, I don't know what is. Why are we singing the praises of Rachel and Ross's relationships? Not to mention, why were they ever even attracted to each other in the first place? Like, they literally have nothing in common. I mean, clearly they're physically attracted to each other. That has to be essential for a relationship to work. But other than that, I do not understand why Rachel liked Ross. I get why maybe Ross liked Rachel, but I don't understand why Rachel liked Ross. And Ross has this like good guy mentality, and like everyone sees Ross as like the nice guy. He's not the nice guy. He's the dysfunctional red flag walking guy. Like, why are we not calling a spade a spade? Okay. I can calm down. I forgot how fiery and passionate I feel about Ross. He has always annoyed me, and that's my bias, is that I also just find Ross, quite frankly, so annoying. So I'll own, I have a bias of dislike towards Ross anyway. But I do think what I have to say stands true in the health of a relationship. Which you're probably like, then who are you putting at 1 if you think all of that about Ross? And I put this one at 1 because Ross, we have so much data for. So it's easy to be like, oh, well, obviously Ross is the most unhealthy because like XYZ. But I think even in the midst of Ross, I don't know, maybe I should have put him at 1. I don't know. We'll stick with my list. Okay. Number 1, drum roll. Danny, aka the Yeti. Danny comes in season 5, and he's known as the Yeti because Rachel accidentally bug bombs him, I think. And so he has to cut off all his hair. Let's watch some clips of their interactions.
Yeah.
Hi. You might not remember us, but we are the girls that fogged you. we're really sorry we fogged you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi. Yeti? I'm Danny?
Had to cut my hair to get rid of the fogger smell.
Oh.
Absolutely. Some people are just into appearances.
What? Made a snap judgment, but you did it too, and you're worse because you are sticking to your stupid snap judgment. You can't even up.
Pizza place across the street any good?
What?
I'm hungry. Want to get some pizza? You can keep yelling if there's more. Actually, I'm having a party at my place on Saturday. It's sort of a housewarming kind of thing.
Oh, fun. Great.
Yeah, really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Okay, see ya.
Oh, hi, Danny.
Hey, guys. Just wanted to invite you to the party tomorrow night.
Oh, thanks. I'll try to stop by. Yeah, actually, I think I'm gonna be busy. Walked right into that one, didn't he?
What one?
Rachel.
Hey! All right, tonight was your party.
You know Rachel. You know, she's nice. She's not bad to look at, right?
Thanks, Mon.
Of course.
Do you want to go out on a date with her?
Monica?
Absolutely. Is Friday okay?
Friday is perfect. She can't wait.
Oh, good. You have got to try it.
Oh, damn, I got it on my pants.
Here, I'll get it.
So what if I'm close to my family? You gonna let that stand in the way of us?
Well, I don't know. See, when you put it that way, you know, it's
Danny, hurry up. The bath's getting cold.
What?
Yeah, okay, I'll see you later.
The functional part of their relationship is that they both recognize that they made snap judgments of each other and that maybe they could move forward into a relationship with some new understanding of one another. So that's health. Let's talk about all the unhealth. So first, Rachel has this imaginary game going on between her and him in which the control is going back and forth between them. She's reading far into situations and experiences that she doesn't need to. It's very obvious when she is trying to get control from Danny because he invited her last minute to the party. So she creates an event that doesn't actually exist so that she can show up late to the party and act like she just got to the party. Like, it's so extra and so weird. And like, how insecure do you have to be in a relationship to be battling about who has the power in the relationship? Like, a relationship should be equal. But I don't know, maybe that's too novel of an idea to have a relationship be equal. Watch out. So even that, then I'm like, the basis of their relationship is starting off with Rachel playing these imaginary games instead of just directly asking Danny, like, how come we got a last minute invite to your party? I felt like I was an afterthought because of that. Like, that would start off the relationship so healthy. So instead, they play this weird back and forth game till Monica like straight up is like, Danny, do you want to go out with Rachel? And he was like, oh yeah, sure. Like, yeah, of course. Like, wow, so easy. Where it gets really, really, really weird is Danny's incestuous relationship with his sister. So this relationship, even though I put it at 1, it's more because of Danny than it is because of Rachel, for obvious reasons, even though Rachel had her control issues. Danny's relationship with his sister is so developmentally inappropriate and uncomfortable. And the fact that they didn't recognize how uncomfortable it was is like very weird. And family systems have different levels of comfortability when it comes to physical touch. They just do. Some families are very physical touch, like always, you know, cuddling when they watch a movie or lots of hugs at home. And some families are not like that. And that's okay. There's a level of normalcy in that. And it varies from family system to family system. And there's a developmentally appropriate age for those things. Like a lot of siblings, when they're very, very young, take baths together because that's normal. They're siblings. They're at the appropriate age to do so. And then eventually they grow out of it because developmentally it becomes inappropriate to do so. And you start to recognize like there's some boundaries that need to be put in place here. For whatever reason, Danny's family never figured that out. They never figured out that there's appropriate physical boundaries with your siblings as you age. So it's just weird. It's super dysfunctional that he still takes baths with his sister at age like 30. I don't know how old they are in this episode. We'll say 30. Do I really need to go into how dysfunctional it is if you're a 30-year-old taking baths with your sibling? That's really questionable at best. So Rachel ran very far away from that relationship very quickly, and understandably so. That is why I have marked Danny as her most dysfunctional relationship, because it's so uncomfortable. It's so weird. It's so concerning. It's all of the things, even more so than I think Ross, because at least Ross was not taking baths with Monica. Ugh. Yeah, so that's my ranking. Those are my rankings for Rachel's relationships. Let me know in the comments if you disagree or agree with some of them. It's fun to do this. I'd be curious about doing Monica and Chandler's relationships, and also, well, all of the friends. I love all of them. So I would do it. I would do that. I'll totally do a video of analyzing just Ross and Rachel's breakup if anyone's interested in that. But also I need ideas for movies. I need ideas for videos, and I know there's so much potential out there. So I feel a little overwhelmed with the potential of things that I can analyze, but I want to do what people find interesting and have curiosities about. So please comment, not just because it helps my video, because I genuinely need help, and I'm genuinely trying to make videos that people are excited and interested in. So thanks for coming along today. My kitties are so cute and I love them so much. As always, I will say that in every video. I just can't not. That's it for today. Arrivederci.